Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I've just been doing a bit of a roadshow on the 2 Hour Workshop Blueprint, and something we've been talking on that is the review stage. So I've got the SPARK framework in the book. SPARK stands for Set Up, Power Up, Activities, Review, and Keep. And the review part is like basically the reflection piece before you end your workshop. And I also I have this thing where I get so excited with the content and there's like 5 minutes to go. It's like, right, time to reflect. And so in the book, I talk about just putting some more time into it. And on just a webinar series I did recently, I shared just some different ways that you can review and reflect out. So these are just some quick ways. There's obviously tons more ideas, but if you are just getting started with workshops and you want some new ideas on how to close or end a session, here's a bit of a snippet from this. I've edited it quite back just to give you the good stuff on this podcast. So enjoy the listen and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Often they say the best thing to do is to create like a habit stack. So if you want to do push-ups every day, what you should do is tag that onto an existing habit. So if you brush your teeth in the morning, just remember to do one push-up after brushing your teeth. Okay, so it's called a habit stack. So think about, a question you might ask your participants is, how are you going to add this onto something that you already do? How are you going to make it part of your everyday life as well? Pop it into the calendar, that type of thing. In terms of review questions, and so this is actually, these are some lovely review questions I got from going on the roadshow last week, as well as I've got questions in the book that you can use as well. So really, it's like kind of like the power up, just find a good question that you can use and pop that into your Spark sheet. Things like talk and turn, how are you going to use this at work? What will you do differently? Is a good question. What are you going to try tomorrow, in 30 days, in 90 days from now? And get them to reflect on that. This was my favorite question. It came from Andrew, the Quazzle president, actually. This is a really powerful one. I think it might be really good for you. I'm going to paste it again separately into chat and call this one out. What I love about this question, the question is, what are the hurdles you might encounter when you try using this back at work tomorrow? And how will you overcome that? So what this question does is it futurecasts that there will be issues and problems and challenges, but it gets you thinking, okay, knowing that, what will you do to overcome it? That's super powerful. So I highly recommend that one. Thank you, Andrew. What advice would you share with a colleague? A fun one, if you want to get creative, and you can spend probably about 30 minutes on this, is to get each participant, so rather than you writing the notes, is get them to create their own cheat sheet of what stood out and resonated for them most. So it could be like a crafty activity, they could mind map it, but it's probably more powerful coming from them as opposed to you handing out a one-pager cheat sheet. They can design it using a variety of arts and crafty materials. The haiku is a really powerful one, surprisingly. Again, a lot of people that loved English, if you remember what a haiku is, it's like a 575 syllable poem, Japanese influenced. And I've actually got big groups, like groups of about 150 people at their tables. Right, end of the day, we want your group to write a haiku based on today. And so we give them about 10 minutes. And what they create is actually outstanding. You see a lot of people counting their fingers, but it forces them to really synthesize the most important thing. It's a really fun way to do it. This one is called SIFT. Now, I'll show you how I sort of set this out. This could be any word, by the way. It could be lift, it could be something else. But I throw it on a flip chart just with the acronym, so SIFT going down. And then I'll ask them to think about the day and think about, okay, what did you stuff up today? I like that because we often don't talk about failure, but it's a fun one, makes people laugh. What was an insight you had from today? What was the first time that you heard something discussed in a new way? And did you have a transformation? And with this one, they don't have to select all of them and answer one. They can just say, oh, I want to answer insight. And so they'll pick that and then share the story of that with a partner as well. But you can, like I said, it could be lift, it could be what was a lesson that you learned. Finally, 3, 2, 1 can just be on an A4 piece of paper. 3, 2, 1. 3 things you learned about yourself today. 2 things you learned about someone else. 1 thing you'll do differently. Or it could be 3 insights you had, 2 actions you'll take, 1 thing you're going to stop. 3 new friends. Yeah, I can go on. I mean, I won't, but you get to decide. But it's a nice structure, 3, 2, 1. So they complete it and they talk to someone and share as well. So those are some tips in terms of like the review and reflection stage that are just a little bit different from, hey, what's 1 thing you learned today?